Hi, welcome back to the Infinite Lifetime Sutra. I'm your host Angelina. So last episode was a little bit long because I was trying to explain two parts at the same time. So today let's not rush, okay? Last episode because of that explanation it came up to about 60 minutes, and at the end I have to rush a little bit. Okay, so today let's not rush. Okay, today let's go bit by bit again. Okay, so last episode we stopped at 成最正觉. Today we start 天人归阳，请转法轮，常以法音觉住世间。Okay, this phrase itself, okay, it consists of two sentences. Okay, one first sentence is 天人归阳，请转法轮, and then 常以法音觉住世间. Okay, 天人, who are 天人? 天人, it refers to those in the heaven, okay, in the heavenly worlds. The heavenly worlds, there are so many, four major layers of the heavenly worlds. Okay, so when someone is going to become a Buddha, when the time is ripe for someone to become a Buddha, those in the heavenly worlds, they are aware of it. Okay, the devas and the bodhisattvas, they are all considered as the Tianren. They are aware of it. And in the last episode, we have already said, like, our Lord Gautama Buddha, before he ascended to our world to become Gautama Buddha, to become born as a prince, and then to come down to us, and then to expound to share the sutras with us, to share the teachings with us. Okay, at that they were at the top heavenly worlds. Okay, so they were at the heavenly worlds, and they were there, sitting there, and they were not sitting idle. They were preaching the Dhamma even back then. Okay, so when they are preaching the Dhamma at that time, at one point, the heavenly beings, okay, the devas and everything, the heavenly beings, they become aware that it is time for the Buddha to descend into our world. Okay, so they will go approach the Buddha. Okay, this is how the entire process. Even later, when our Maitreya Buddha is going to descend down to our world to manifest as a Buddha for us to, follow his teachings, the heavenly beings will approach him and say, "Oh, Lord, the beings are now ready to accept your teachings. So we pledge that you please go down to, manifest as a Buddha to share the teachings." Okay, why do they do that? Okay, is there any benefit for them to do that? In direct benefit, there is none. Okay, it's not like our corporations these days when people do a lot of charities or whatever they share it like public, like some PR stunts, and then actually there is some financial benefit or whatever, but they don't. Okay, they don't. They are just full of compassion, and in the compassionate thought of the sufferings of us, the beings. Okay, they ask the Buddha to come down. Hey, please come down and teach, because you have the capacity to teach. You're able to teach. So come down and teach. Okay, so of course they are more polite. Okay, so they will tell the Buddha, please descend. And then when the Buddha looks at, he surveyed and he say, yes, it is time to do so. So he will descend. Okay, and remember in the last episode, when he descends into a royal family, and the royal family is like the top, you know utmost, and he can become a universal monarch, or he can become a Buddha. So they go through the same things. Okay, they will go through a lavish life, a life of luxury, a life of greatness. Everyone was like, serving one person, even when they are kids, babies. Everything is tailor-made for them, everything is customized, experience customized and everything. But still, they will encounter the one by one about the death, about the disease, about the old age. right? So they experience all these things, and then they will go through the same thing again. They will leave home, they will lead the ascetic life, they'll go through those extreme practices, and then they will come to be enlightened in the middle path. Okay, it is to show us as an example, okay, of how it is. Okay, if you were to look at the situations now, okay, a lot of people they go through hardships. A lot of people they go through a life of luxury, right? Many people are holding on to the hope of some financial gratification and whatnot. Okay, like I'm taking this I'm recording this episode during a time when, if you're in Malaysia, you know that there is this thing called Toto Malaysia. It is the four digits. Okay, there in Malaysia there are three. There are either the Dhamma Toto, or the Magnum, same as in Singapore, I think, same as in many other Asian countries. So there is this pot of money where the gamblers, I'll call them just gamblers, okay? They will buy numbers at these shops, and then from these numbers, it's just like your lottery, okay? Overseas, you have your lottery, so every week, then you will just sit in front of the TV. I've seen like hold on to your ticket of the numbers that you have bought, and then you see that thing roll, and then you see whether it's your number or not. Okay, the jackpot for that particular um, station has already reached to a substantial amount, and you can see that there are a lot of people. It is like a full house, everybody lining up to buy the numbers. Okay, so everyone in this world now is like preoccupied with money itself. So there are those who have, actually, if you come to think of it, think of your entire life. Okay, if you're very young, I won't say that you have enough to reflect upon. But if you're in around like my age, 40 something, late 40s, early 40s, late 40s, you can imagine like when during the time when you were young. Okay, if you have experienced hardship before, how was it like? Did you die? Of course you didn't die because you're still alive, right? How did you get through the hardships? The hardships were like very temporary. Okay, so the hardships were like they put a strain to your life, a lot of pressure, okay, a lot of um discomfort to your life for a long time. And then after a while, and things change for the better, or things change for the worse, depending on how you choose the path of your life. If you are going to lament, and then you're going to blame circumstances, you're going to blame the heavens and the earth and the everything. If you're blaming everything, then you become more miserable, right? And then opportunities, even if they're present before you, then you won't be able to recognize them because you were busy complaining. Okay, but if for those who are actually just kind of like thankful and say that, oh, at least I'm still alive, there's still a chance, there's still an opportunity for me to get better, you realize that things just come and go, is very pretty much temporary. Okay, so what if last time I went into the university? Okay, so what if last time my dad died while I was in the first year of my university? Right, life seems hard. I almost wanted to quit my university because I was worried that my mom couldn't put me through as a single mother. So, but I went through, I even took up some part-time jobs to be able to pay for my livelihood during the university years. I came out, I went to work and everything. And although during the first half of my life, I'll say that it wasn't really that smooth sailing. Okay, I have a lot of um problems. Okay, my life is not something that is very smooth. My life has a lot of downs at the time compared with the ups. So, but eventually I have come into contact with this Buddha Dharma, okay, from a very young age. So I held on to it. I have no choice. Actually, you have no choice whether you hold on to it or you don't hold on to it. You have no choice. Time just passed by. You grow up, you mature, and then you see that, oh, so many things have passed. Okay, so I didn't die in the process, although it is a really uh, cruel process to be in. Okay, in my jobs I get into um, a lot of situations where I get gaslighted. I get blamed for things that I didn't do. I get my name gets smeared. Okay, but if I didn't do it, even if they try to smear my name, then there's just no effect. Okay, it may make me sad for a while, it may make me miserable for a while, but after that, the name cleared. Okay, things will just, the sky will just clear. Okay, I also made a lot of mistakes, even in relationships. Okay, I won't say that I'm a saint in relationships. Okay, I do make mistakes. I did mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes when I was young, but now after I have learned all these things, it's really like a learning journey for me, right? And throughout the entire processes, I was paying all the debt to the people that I owe in my past life. Okay, so after the relationship, and then I know that, oh, I've already paid my debt, and then I just move on. Okay, move on with or without another person. And it is fortunate now that I have somebody to be able to have a more stable relationship. Okay, so that's fine. You know, that is the entire processes. Remember, always the association that we have with other people are always just based on four relationships. Okay, either they come here to pay a debt, or they come here to collect a debt, they come here to repay some kindness, or they come here to just collect back some kindness, something that you have to pay back them. Okay, is that gratitude or is the debt? Okay, so there is nothing too personal about that, right? So when all these heavenly beings, they know the time is opportune, they will tell the Buddha to come down. And then when we talk about 请转法轮, okay, 转 is turn, 法轮 is the Dharma wheel. Okay, turning the Dharma wheel is the Dharma king's tool. Okay, so how do you turn the Dharma wheel? That means you ask the Buddha to continue with the teachings of the Buddha. Okay, to share the sutras, to share the teachings so that it will become a sutra later on, to share the Dharma, to teach people what is the right and what is the wrong. Okay, 常一法音, that one is the speech. Okay, 法音, the Dharma sound. So how do you create the Dharma sound? It's not your mantra. It's not like your kind of mantra. It's actually the Buddha sharing the Dharma talks. That is the 法音. That is the Dharma sound. Okay. So when they do that, okay, it is not only for our benefit. Okay, when the Buddha speaks the sutra in one of the heavenly worlds, okay, it benefits up there, but it does not benefit us because we are not to that level. Okay, we don't know. But when the Buddha come down to our world and to manifest as a Buddha, as the prince who left his home, okay, to speak the Buddha, to speak the Dhamma, sorry. So to speak the Dharma, he also showed by example. He was a prince and then he let go of the luxuries in life. He did not die. In fact, he thrived and become enlightened. Okay, through the middle path. It's not through any ascetic practices. He didn't need to starve himself. He didn't need to be like, all the ascetic practices in the past of another religion, the Brahma. Okay, what they can do is that, for example, they eat if you read the Dharma, right, the stories, the aesthetics can actually practice things like standing one-legged for more than 24 hours. Okay, even when they sleep, they are standing on one leg. Okay, or maybe you're talking about the one who just won't sit down, won't lie down. Okay, they just stand and then they fall asleep standing or whatever. And then when they eat, they just eat the amount of food as wide as one blade of grass, that little bit of food. And then you also heard of the stories. If you were to read the Buddha story, you know that he was so thin at that time that when you touch the skin of his belly, you can actually touch his backbone. Okay, that was how thin he was. So after all these ascetic practices, all these practices, like you don't sleep, you force yourself not to sleep, whatever things that you torture yourself with. If you look at today's torture is all a lot of mental. Okay, today's torture is about how are you going to repay your loan for the bank without where to get the money? Okay, that kind of torture, right? But they demonstrated, if you eat just, imagine today, if I ask you to eat just the amount of food equivalent to one blade of grass, it not only puts a toll to your body, it also puts a toll on your mental, right? All those the nutritionists, the scientists, and everything say that if you go on a strict diet for too long, you deprive yourself of all the nutrients in the body, and then you get into hallucinations, your blood sugar drop, your blood pressure drops, and then potentially you just start to hallucinate, have a lot of strange things going in your mind, blah 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 blah, you're going to collapse, everything. But these aesthetics, they were doing exactly that. Okay, some cannot stand, of course. Then after that, they may, I don't know. I never go and check the records on how many died because of all these ascetic practices. I never go and check that. But we know that the Buddha practiced all this, and a lot of other ascetics practice all this, and they practice this with strong meditation. Okay, but one thing about meditation is that if you meditate well enough, when you focus well enough, you will not need that much fuel for your body. Okay, you will be able to, you see some in some in some text, right, it says that the how some monks, they actually close the door for months without anyone disturbing them, without anyone as much as to bring food for them to eat. They just continue with meditation. So this is what happens. Okay, in meditation you can actually control and the control of your body due to the focus of your mind, okay, on something. So that's why you see some people, when they are focused at work, they forget their food. When they're focused at work, they forget that they're tired, they forgot to sleep, they forget everything else. They just work because they're so focused on work. This is exactly what's happening, but the meditation focus is more intense than your passion for your work. Okay, that is what's happened. Right. So when he shares the Buddha Dharma, okay, he shares all these things. Not only do we, okay, humans benefit, the heavenly beings, they can come down anytime to listen, or they just stand up there in what we call as the sky, and then they listen. Okay, or maybe they just be around the ground, they listen. Okay, remember they are in a different dimension, so they can do all these things, okay, without any restrictions. And not only that, even the animals, okay, some of you may have seen some videos about how dogs or cats, when they enter a temple, then they live accordingly, then they are even more, I will say, more disciplined than humans a lot of times, in their practices. Maybe because they were monks. Some people speculate that they're probably monks in the past lifetime, and then they come back to become a cat or become a dog, and so they were repenting because they thought that, oh my goodness, I didn't practice well enough, so I was a little bit um stupid, so I got reborn into a cat or a dog instead of going into at least one of the heaven worlds, after being a student for so long in the entire lifetime. Okay, so all these things, and actually not just that, even the inanimate objects like the tables, your chairs, your whatever, okay, they will also benefit. Okay, why do we say that they will also benefit? Is this like some kind of a mythical thing, or is it something like supernatural? Actually, no. If you were to watch back some of the videos in the previous um, first few episodes and whatnot, right? In the previous episodes, I've also spoken about the being of the cosmos, the being of the universe. How did the universe come into being? The universe come into being from our first ignorance. Okay, it did not. Um, it's not like it's not like someone created. Okay, someone created, but who was that someone? Okay, the someone is actually us, ourselves. When we're talking about the Big Bang, a kaboom, boom, something comes out. So how did that boom happen, and then how did they form? Actually, the entire thing forms at the same exact moment. Okay, so science will not be able to find when is the start, when is the end. In fact, when they look at there was just this recent thing like 2 days ago, or was it yesterday, I can't remember, but I read this latest discovery by science. Okay, they said that there was this black hole, and then there was this planet that is not sucked by the black hole, and then suddenly don't know what happened and things like that. So all these things, okay, everything, including all the things that are happening in this world, the calamities, the something that we call natural disasters, all are actually man-made, okay, caused by our own mind. It is not so much as about the punishment by the Almighty or something like that, or by any of the beings. Okay, don't put the blame on the almighty beings. Okay, don't put the blame on the heavenly beings. Okay, because they don't interfere with our karma. We ourselves did it to us. If, for example, when we talk about some calamities like fire, where does fire come from? Okay, fire comes from rage. Fire comes from the fact that there is anger somewhere. Okay, and then where does water come from? Okay, flood and everything. Okay, flood comes from where? Flood comes from greed. Okay, if fire can come from anger and hatred, flood and all that, you know, the typhoon and the heavy rains that cause death, all those come from greed. Okay, when you're talking about all the hurricanes and the landslides and the earthquakes, those things that are shaking. What is shaking? The earth shaking? The earth isn't shaking. The earth is a mess. It just reacts to whatever that is being put into it. So what is the thing that's shaking? It's our heart that's shaking. The uncertainty that we face, the kind of muddled thoughts that we have, the confusion that we have with this world today, right? These are the things that shake. Okay, in the past, when people look at some very simple experiments, we talk about ice, water, and vapor. Okay, when we're talking about ice, it is still. Okay, the molecules are not really vibrating so much. Okay, they are still, so they are solid, they are unmoved. Water, a bit more movement. Okay, the molecules are more not as rigid as the ice. And vapor, the molecules are more freely in movement compared to the water, and definitely compared with the ice. Okay, so this is how our vibrations are. Okay, the more vibrations, the kind of vibrations that our mind send off, the kind of vibrations that we send off will actually allow us to create the the things around us. Okay, create in the sense that it can make it better, it can make it worse. Okay, if you were to see some people, okay, just make it very simple. Why is it that cars manufactured from the same factory, when you reach to certain people, the car can drive for 10 over years without any problem, but when it reaches some people, within like 6 months, the car has problems. Okay, some people say that he's unlucky, but some people say that, oh, it is because the guy don't know how to drive the car, or that woman don't know how to drive the car, whatever. But it is not just about that. It's not about luck. Okay, it is about how this person actually, when coming into contact with things, how will his or her aura, okay, we can just use the word aura because it's all about the vibrations, okay, react to the objects around them. Okay, when you pass somebody, like some people, when you pass a computer to them, they will easily just say that, I don't know how to use the computer, that's why you see the computer got problems, blah 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 blah. But pass it to somebody who may not even know computer, not of an IT background, but still after using it, you can be using it for years, there's no problem. Okay, why? That is because this not just person knows how to take care of the objects. Okay, it is about the aura itself. You can think about it. Okay, there are some people when the moment you get near them, you feel a lot of comfort, you feel very comfortable, you feel that their company is very nice, you have that good feeling. But when you get to someone else, okay, even if it is just like maybe like a few feet away from you, a few meters away from you, you'll feel so agitated, you'll feel that it's just discomfort. Okay, you just don't like it because there is this particular vibrations that tells you that this person is just not right. Okay, so there are situations like this. So all these things, the moment when you're talking about the Buddha Dharma, so when our Buddha comes down and then he shares the Dharma, okay, Dharma are good things. Okay, so the vibrations that he shares are actually good. So whether animate or inanimate objects, alive or not alive, okay, they will feel it, they'll be able to receive the vibrations, okay, of the Buddha. So the words that he shared will also be sent out to everywhere, okay, to our being, okay, to the trees, to the animals, to the land, okay, to the sky above, okay, to every single thing. Right. So the sharing is also to everything. And when after he has shared and we put it into practice, okay, we believe in it, we practice it. After understanding the entire thing about it, we practice it. Around us, you will see there are changes. Okay, one of the main changes will be that if let's say you can go to the same restaurant, okay, and you can order the same food. If one person who is not a practitioner, who has a lot of complaints or whatever, okay, and you eat the same dish, okay, you will find that dish is delicious and the other person will be complaining, okay, and eventually up to a certain stage there'll be a lot of people complaining, right, about the dish not being delicious, blah 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 blah, blah. But to you, you just eat, it tastes just fine. Okay, so there are a lot of instances like this. So if you have practiced and you have found yourself improving, one of the main things you see is how your the things around you improve. Okay, the food that you eat becomes nicer, the drinks that you take are just perfect, everything is perfect. The objects around you will also react to you differently from the way that they will react to something else. Okay, there will be a lot of things that you, if you're mindful and you come to think about it, you observe it, you realize that people are becoming different from you. Okay, not that you are going to become superior or what, it's just that you have that kind of good karma, okay, where the things that you come in contact with will also be good, right? It's not that you have supernatural powers, but you realize that you are able to um, understand, and you'll be able to maybe even foretell certain things based on your observations of them. Okay, it's like a very professional growth. Okay, but this one is spiritual. It's like professional growth. When you are mindful, you are focused, you'll be able to see that, oh, things are becoming a lot better, right? Things are becoming so different and whatnot. And then at the same time, you will be able to read. I will just say as read. You will read the person's action. You'll be able to, because of your ability to focus, even if you don't realize that you're focusing. Okay, when you chant Amitabha, Amitabha, okay, and you get into that kind of a focus, you don't even realize that your mind is being focused, but you have already become so focused that you are able to just be at a moment at any time when you want to, and then you'll be able to observe people, you'll be able to predict, okay, almost predicting how they are, what will happen, how will they end up with. But a lot of times, if you are actually practicing Amitabha, you don't even bother to predict, because to you it has come to a point where it has become just a very natural karma. You don't need to predict, let whatever happen just happen. You don't really care anymore, because that is not other people's doing. It's something that is being planted to himself. Excuse me for a moment. Sorry, interruption phone call. Okay, so 30 minutes. Okay, so you get the gist of it. Okay, when you chant Amitabha, actually you're doing a few things at the same time. First thing, you are meditating. Okay, but you're meditating by the chant and not meditating by sitting there and doing nothing. You are chanting. Okay, second thing, when you are chanting Amitabha, you are the very text itself, Amitabha, is to call out to the infinite. And this infinite is not just to our Amitabha Buddha. The infinite is within yourself. You are calling out to yourself, calling out the Buddha inside you. So that is why you can achieve Buddhahood very a lot faster compared with other practices. Okay, because you are calling from within. Okay, it's not like you're practicing like the clienting and all those things. Okay, theirs will take a longer time. They will take like several aeons before you can achieve anything. But when you chant Amitabha, then it will be a lot faster. It will be a lot simpler for you because you're calling from within. The third thing that you're going to do is that you're going to share the Dhamma with everything around you, with everyone around you. Okay, those that you can see, those that you cannot see, those that you can call on to, those that you cannot even give them a name to. Okay, even like your oxygen, the air around you. Okay, they are there, but you don't realize them. Okay, you can't see them, right? Like, you can put a label in the air. Oh, this is oxygen, this is carbon dioxide. You can't do that, but they are all around you. Okay, and they, being the inanimate object, when they hit Amitabha, the vibrations itself will also make it better for them. Okay, and then there's also those number four, you also be not just sharing to them, okay, sharing to all the beings around you, those that you can see, those that you cannot see, but you also be able to change, okay, cause that kind of influence to change things for the better. Okay, so this is the Qingxuan Falun. When the Buddha comes down and he is sharing the Buddha Dharma, this is as much as it will benefit, as far as it can benefit. Okay, so why is it that we need all these things? Okay, we need all these things. Why do we need to make sure that it is continuous? Okay, you hear the name Chang, okay, Chang Yi Fa Yin Chang. The word Chang is continuous, okay, constant, continuous. Why do we need it to be continuous? Actually, even right now in our world, we are being protected by the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, even if we don't see or we don't experience it or we cannot identify them. Okay, our human minds today, how many of us are actually so meditative? How many of us are actually being very pious, being very respectful and whatnot? Okay, not many. Okay, indeed, not many. And yet, how do we sustain if, let's say, the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas just leave our world? Okay, they just discard and they don't care about us. It's impossible that they don't care because they have a lot of compassion. Even if we don't see them, even if they don't that descend to our world to be among us, they do care a lot about us. Okay, in fact, you can't say that they are not among us. They can't tell that they are among us because, as I've said earlier, if they expose that they are among us, then they will need to leave immediately and probably take on another form of existence to show themselves in other ways that we cannot recognize. Okay, so if they are thus, okay, then you think about it. If they are all gone, you just think about some of the prominent figures in this world. Are they able to sustain our entire earth, the globe itself? Or are they going to destroy it immediately just by the um, mental powers? Mental powers, yeah, their thoughts itself. Some people, their thought is so so focused only on money, on riches, on their own power, on how to control the entire earth, even though they don't even realize that they cannot even control themselves. They can't control themselves from getting older. They can't control themselves from having diseases. They can't control themselves from, every single moment you're approaching death itself. Can you control that? You cannot control that. You don't even know how to control that. Actually, you can control that, but they won't know how to control that because all they think about is using money, external forces to be able to control that. Very wrong. Okay, but that one is the problem, not my problem. Okay. So how do they do you think that the moment, if let's say a bodhisattva or the Buddha stop taking care of our world, immediately there will be a lot of natural disasters. Okay, the natural disasters are none other than because of all these thoughts that are conjured. How does the leader of one nation try to control the other nations? How do they try to use military powers to eliminate the survival of another nation? Okay, how do they use their political powers to stop another country from growing economically? Okay, even if that country is, just trying to do their own work. Okay, raise their own money so that it can raise the livelihood, the lifestyle, improve the lifestyle of other people, to give labor, to have job opportunities for the employee, for their citizens, so that the citizens get the money to live their life. Okay, so there are a lot of these kind of crazy powers. Okay, the wicked mentality, I'll call that. They try to control everything, but the thing is that it is probably due to the fact that they cannot control themselves, that they have to control other people. They cannot control their own body from aging. Okay, they cannot control their body from getting diseases. Just look at the recent, like the COVID. Okay, you will see the good and the bad, the help, the wealthy and the poor. They get COVID. Okay, everybody gets a disease. Okay, some people, they try all kinds of supplements and whatever, but they still get cancer, or they go through all those crazy healthy lifestyle, they call it, multivitamins, vitamin C, this supplement, that supplement, and still they get diseased. And it can be a very heavy disease as well, those that will keep them hospitalized and stuff like that. So you can't even control yourself. How are you going to control what's external? They try to control the external. They try to torment other beings. Okay, there are those people who are in high powers in the company who try to um, create scenarios, okay, or to use their power, abusing their powers to suppress the subordinates. Mm. Oh well, you can suppress your subordinate until the point when your subordinate actually leaves the company or the subordinate is unable to perform. Okay, and then the subordinate is being forced out of the company. But you have to remember, without your subordinates, you cannot do anything, right? You can't work alone. For this kind of so-called leaders, they are put into that position not because they are capable. Okay, they are put into that position because in past life they did something good, and so they are reaping just that kind of rewards in this present life. But because of the weakness of their mind, the people that they are going to attract will be those that are similar to them, not able to perform. And then eventually the workplace becomes so toxic, right? Because you see, nowadays there are a lot of toxic workplaces and whatever you call that. Okay, non-performing but still going into high ranks, non-performing but still they are being selected as department heads, or whatever. Okay, so you can imagine. Okay, the moment when these kind of things happen, you can imagine the collapse of the department, or the collapse of an entire company if they're not careful. Okay, or if they're not supported by people with good karma. Okay, so where are we now? 40 minutes. Okay, so in this short 40 minutes short, okay, I have covered this part. So in the next part we will cover some more. Okay, we're not going to rush this, we'll go slow, and steady. I know it's a long way to go, but hopefully before the extinction of this lifetime, I'll be able to cover the entire sutra itself. Okay, so thank you very much. I'll see you again in the next episode. Until then, please be good and chant Amitabha. Okay, Amitabha. Bye.